18 pounds, Jeff Hardy.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome to Wednesday Night Is Overbooked. We're back. We're on multiple platforms. Speaking of multiple platforms, this guy is as well. What's up, JB?
What's happening? I'm sorry to say, Bad Blood, I was off my game. Only got 3 out of 5 correct. Dropped my average from 90% to 88.6%. I am sorry. I have let you all down. But yeah, make sure that if you're in the chat that you give a like. Check out the description down below. Everyone's links are down there. Give everyone a subscribe as well. Let's try for double-digit likes on all shows here.
Agreed.
And speaking of getting those likes up because he needs them, Left Eye E.G.O.
He's not lying, guys. I'm desperate for my likes today. But glad we can discuss some Bad Blood results, guys. Anxious to get y'all's takes and y'all's thoughts as well. Let's get it.
Yeah, very much so. Right. We had a big weekend. We had a very big weekend with Bad Blood. So we're going to say hi to the chat. Dempsey says, always late, I swear. I don't think we were like maybe 20 seconds late.
Yeah. Still late and gay.
It is still late. It says like and share the stream out on your socials. That's true. Wade, whose stream I was on, says let's go. Can't blame me this time, Brian. No, I can't. No, I can't. No, I won't blame Wade. It was not Wade's fault. That being said, I still do the D-Generation X thing. We'll get there. Trust me. And Dempsey says, yeah, hashtag praise for Matt. Yeah, absolutely. Matt is our
and Brad
and everybody in Florida.
Yes, we have multiple friends out in Florida. Brad, Pops, the Geeks and Gamers crew out there. So Tom, Rogue Attraction.
Yep. Yeah, we have a lot of friends in Florida. And it kind of stinks that what's going on. So, and they just got hit in Tampa Bay with the eye wall literally not that long ago. So that being said, we don't want to be a downer. We want to try to be, obviously praise for everybody. So we're gonna jump into this.
And then we're gonna be a down. We're gonna be a downer because from Saturday to Monday was not a good week for the WWE.
So, gentlemen, where would you like to start?
E.G.O, let's start with you.
We can start with Bad Blood. I actually want to do a review. Would like to hear y'all's thoughts and review on that. I actually wound up watching all the matches for that, so I'm locked in and know what's going on this one.
All right, so let's kind of start with. Do we want to start with a little bit of grief behind the scenes?
Why not?
All right, let's do that.
Behind the scenes?
A little bit of, hoopla, a little bit of attack.
Oh, you mean the leaked fan footage?
Yeah. Okay, that's the best way to put it.
Yeah, the plant.
So,
yeah.
The leaked fan footage. Kayfabe is alive and well. Kevin Owens attacks Cody Rhodes after a WWE Bad Blood full brawl. Oh, it's the full brawl.
Mm-hmm.
So
overlay it, and then we can go from there.
This is somebody. Well, yeah, we should overlay it, even though it's somebody else's channel. We might actually get kicked.
Just
in the
might want to.
I don't want to get kicked in the wiener, unless that's E.G.O's thing. I don't know. Is that your thing?
Nope. No. I need those.
So Kevin Owens, Cody Rhodes, they're having words.
Who's next, buddy? Where were you?
I don't know. Yeah, Dempsey, the streaming con. So the streaming con really helped, huh? Yeah, it did.
Yeah.
Yeah, it helped. So I don't know why it's being all a little glitchy, so I'm gonna back it off a little bit. Maybe it's their phone. I don't know. That may have the shift.
Hey, KO, turn
Possibly.
on him! Turn on him! Clothesline! Take the title! Smack him, Kevin! Beat his ass! Beat his ass! Beat his ass!
There's hold on, there you go.
Missed it.
Okay.
All right. Comments?
Okay, so this was supposed to be as Cody Rhodes is getting ready to go back in for the media scrum, as he never made it to the press conference, and Paul Levesque during the conference was made aware that this had happened. So I think on the WWE's part, this is brilliant. Absolutely brilliant, because now you're starting to blur that line between kayfabe and reality. So this is, and now to say that this is a fan footage. Okay, yeah, sure. This there was a plant because there was another one who had another perfectly shot angle from their phone from up above. These are plants by the WWE. So, and now you've just made Friday Night SmackDown must-see TV.
True.
Because this is something we weren't supposed to know. We weren't supposed to see this, and I was like, ooh. So now we're kind of in on a little secret. And Paul Levesque later on sent out a tweet saying that we are handling the incident internally. And even on Raw, they said, the thing that happened that I'm not supposed to talk about, blah, blah, blah. So I think this is a brilliant move because you're still continuing to tell the story even after the cameras have stopped rolling on the show.
Yeah, pretty much. Dempsey says, if a big dude like that hit you in that many times, there would be bodily fluid spilled. Yeah. There'd be blood. So I don't know if YouTube allows you to say that. Hey,
Brad.
What is up, Brad? Was too busy watching Bad Weather to watch Bad Blood, but oh my god, I can't believe that this was captured on a video. Yeah, it was. I mean, it was all, of course, staged.
Insert sarcasm here.
Wait, sarcasm?
But
what?
Yes, but as far as a marketing thing, this is brilliant. Absolutely brilliant.
Yeah.
Yeah, it definitely works.
I mean, it progresses more too, which is pretty outstanding. They're really trying to like lay into it. Oh, security! Oh, security! Get everybody!
Yeah, these security geeks.
Yeah, security. Hero Darky Dark says, "Let's go,
man."
That's right,
my man.
Yeah, Brad says, "Sarcasm, me, but good story gives something to do as a champ. That is very true.
It really does. Yes, it gives us something." I had a question: was there anything that was like behind the scenes to show that there was going to be some heat leading up to this, or just like, hey, we know there's a turn coming at some? Okay, got it.
This has always been teased as a Kevin Owens heel turn. Randy has been kind of out of the picture of late. He was doing stuff with he was doing stuff with good. He was doing stuff with Gunther over on Raw, so he was kind of out of the picture. So kind of left Kevin Owens in story to kind of have Cody's back, and the story seems to be, I've spent 4 years of my life battling these guys, and now you're gonna team with the guy. You're gonna team with the guy who put Randy Orton on the shelf for 18 months. You're gonna team with this guy? What the fuck, dude? What the fuck?
Yep. And we'll get there.
Okay.
All right. So that being said, that is literally the precursor. I'm sorry, the aftermath. Sorry, not the precursor. There is a precursor. Do we want to jump to that one?
Yeah, why not?
All right.
Do you want to go in? So do you want to go match by match, or do you want to go in order, backwards order, or what?
I would like to go match by match. So
that's cool with me.
That's the only thing I didn't get a chance to pull up. So JV, if you want to kick it off, or E.G.O, whichever one.
So the event started off with the Hell in a Cell, and already I'm annoyed. I'm like, why is this match last? And we then found out a little later why this match was last for 60 seconds. Thanks, that douchebag. But anyway, this was Hell in a Cell, and this was, if this is not on your list for matches of the year for 2024, it should be. This match was brilliant. Both Drew and Punk had said that they wanted to restore the significance of Hell in a Cell, because under Vince McMahon, Hell in a Cell at one point had its own pay-per-view where you would have not one, not two, sometimes 3 Hell in a Cell matches. It got ridiculous. It's where the Cell needed a match to put in it. They wanted this match to need Hell in a Cell to blow this feud off. And this was an absolutely, is it the best Hell in a Cell match of all time? No. Is it a damn good one? Absolutely it is.
Yeah.
I would still put the very first Hell in a Cell, Michaels and Taker, as the best Hell in a Cell of all time. And I liked the fact that they kept it in the confines of the cell, because again, Hell in a Cell.
Yep.
In a cell.
A cell. And then
in the cell,
I mean, granted, there are some iconic spots, the Mankind being tossed off the top of the cell by Taker in Pittsburgh, iconic spot. But this just told the story in the ring, blew it off, and the outcome was exactly right. So those are my thoughts on this whole thing. E.G.O, your thoughts?
I'm actually really glad that y'all sent me the Punk documentary to watch when you did, because I wouldn't have seen the significance of this match. I mean, it kind of harkens back to some of his early days, even some of his ECW things and his independent days of taking it to the extremes. I usually don't see people that are this season do matches like this. And which is why you say it's a gem. You say Taker and Mankind, because these aren't some young guys running around just doing Hell in a Cell. You got guys that are seasons vet that don't have to do this, that want to make a brutal match like Hell in a Cell possible. And for me, it's saying, hey, I don't want any match that's not a Hell in a Cell if you don't have some kind of beef like this or some kind of heat like this. I'm actually glad that the rest of the matches were not Hell in a Cell, because it would have diminished the product completely for me. Because if you're going from this to, I guess, with Bailey and Nia Jax, after like, there's no bad blood here, but you're like, hey, the bad blood with this one is so bad, there will be no interferences. It's going to be extreme. There's no rules, and it's Hell in a Cell. Keyword, in a cell. No one's going outside to climb out. No one's trying to bring in outside interference. It's mano a mano, tacks, chains, tables, and whatchamacallit, the staircase. When Drew McIntyre missed that Claymore and hit his back on that, I was like, oh my, bro. I was like,
sucked.
Yeah, I was like, dude, I hope he doesn't have the same situation that Shawn Michaels had, because that's what I thought when he hit his back on that with that claim, when he missed that Claymore. So I'm like, if he can walk after that, he did a brilliant job playing that off.
So for the folks who did not watch the event, the top half of the ring steps are inside the ring, and Drew McIntyre goes for his goes for his ending move, a big nasty drop kick. CM Punk gets out of the way, and Drew McIntyre hits his low back on the corner of where those metal steps meet.
Yep.
And I'm like, I popped up, I grabbed my back, and I'm like, that must suck.
Oh, it was awful.
But that is the commitment that both of these two had to make this match work.
Yep.
Yeah. Yes.
So
absolutely.
Ryan, in your experience, have you ever done anything to this extent before?
Hell in a Cell? No, I've never done that. But
would you?
At the time, yeah, because I was a lot younger. Now I'm kind of an old man. But yeah, no, I did a lot of ring work. I did ring work with unfortunately the ring posts. They're metal. If you don't do it right, it hurts. If somebody executes a move wrong, it hurts. Submission moves, the Indian Deathlock is one I remember, which was done wrong. The way they angled it, it literally torqued the snot out of my left knee, and it hurt a lot. So it was.
I have heard that folks just getting into the business. Like I heard McAfee talk on his show. He is like, running ropes hurts. Ropes hurt. Taking bumps.
Oh, they do.
Taking bumps hurts. Yeah. It all hurts.
So literally what you're doing when you take a bump, all right? And this is the basic thing, and we need to be full screen for this to make it make sense. All right, so when you're taking a bump, what you do is you literally you kind of like run forward, you stop, you tuck your chin, and you flail backwards on your literal shoulder blades and your mid to upper back. You have to tuck your chin, because if you don't, you're gonna do that, and you're gonna screw your shit up, and you're gonna have whiplash in your neck for a couple of weeks. I didn't do that because again, I was a police officer, which they taught you how to fall, and they got this from wrestling. They call it falling with style. Was the biggest joke I heard from wrestling. Falling with style. The thing is, though, is that you would literally be like going, all right, we're gonna do 10 bumps. All right, get in a line, everybody go, and then one person, boom, right elbow circle up, next person, boom, and you would just get in a line, and it was hard work. So the thing is, running the ropes is really important, because a lot of people don't understand, when you run the ropes, you have to actually wrap your arm around underneath, whichever arm you want. You could do left or right, whichever you are, but you have to grab the rope with your arm and you have to wrap it around, because quite frankly, if it gets too low and you make a mistake, you could actually tumble out of the ring and break your neck. And those they're legitimate ropes. They're not like bouncy ropes. They're legitimate ropes.
Oh, yeah. Huh.
They're legitimate ropes that you would see, I don't know, from 100 years ago. They just put like lovely little plastic over them now, or like something like that.
Tape.
Yeah, tape. Okay, thank you. That's what I was looking for. and so no, they're like ropes from the circus, because that's where wrestling started. That's where it got its big hit. Harneys. And so it's legitimate rope that is like this big around, and you have to bounce off of that, and it hurts, and it leaves marks on your back. And you have to learn. You have to run the ropes as drills, and then they're like going, all right, this lot you're over here, this lot you're over here, run, and you have to intersect And if you're about ready to
Mhm.
hit somebody, somebody has to drop down and jump over. It's called
Oh,
rope drills. It's a
that's
legitimate thing.
hmm.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you, JV. I haven't thought about this stuff in years.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
That's cool, man. That's
It
cool.
just makes sense because just stuff that we go through. Now, this match I gave an A. This is an
Mm,
excellent match. Unfortunately, everything else had to follow this match, and it kind of just
Nice.
yeah.
Oh,
and
I, I,
the,
I,
the
I'm,
next
I
match.
didn't mean.
Yes, sir.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt you guys, but I was wondering, was there a logistical reason why this match had to be first? Was it because the cage, like, hey, once you put
You'll
it
find
down, we
out.
got to bring.
No,
Oh, cool, cool, cool.
I'll let you know in
All
a
right, cool.
second.
That was my
I'll let
first
you know.
question. Go on.
We gotta wait till the last match, and then I'll tell you why. So,
Okay, cool.
so the next match is Bailey versus Nia Jax for the WWE Women's Championship. And I asked myself, why is this match on a premium live event? It does not belong here. You could easily do this match on a SmackDown. And they tried. They really did try.
They got close, yeah.
Yeah, well, this match was sloppy on both ends.
Mm,
Bailey was sloppy. Nia was sloppy. They tried doing things with Nia Jax tried to do a Hurricane Rana out of a power bomb set. Didn't Bailey tried her best to sell it?
Okay.
Just didn't look good. The only
That's what that
pop
was. Okay.
this match got, the only pop that this match got was when Tiffany Stratton's music hit, because that's what everyone is waiting for. Everyone is waiting for Tiffany Stratton to cash in, and I thought this was going to be the time. This is one of the misses that I had, and
Okay.
this it should have happened. Tiffany, it looks like she's about to cash in. The Nia does the Undertaker rise up, and I'm like, okay, that's.
I mean, all right.
But I mean, they tried, and this match had no heat, had no pop. Partly because it's a match nobody cares about. Because again, everything surrounding the WWE Women's Championship, at least at the top, is surrounded around when is Tiffany Stratton going to cash in. And this match had the unfortunate pleasure of following a great Hell in a Cell match.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, you can't top that. Not even close.
It's not fair. I will say though, the match in general surprised me because I didn't know Nia Jax had at least that much stamina for how sloppy it was in spots. I will give them A for efforts and trying. I like the fact that Nia Jax is embracing the heel when she was slapping Bailey's head and everything like that. I liked her fully embracing the heel. They did kind of give her the I don't know what you call it, that drop, the Vader bomb, I guess is what we're calling it. The Jax bomb. I don't.
No, the bonsai drop. It's a bonsai drop. It's
Bonsai drop. There we go.
move.
I'm sorry.
It's the same move that members of her family did. Yokozuna
Okay.
and
That's what it
Yokozuna
was.
and
Yeah.
and
Rikishi. There we go. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
bonsai
No,
drop.
it's literally thrown to the corner and then like going, oh, here we go, and boom, and it's like, yeah, not great.
I'm just like, okay.
I mean, not
surprising me more.
it's not that it's not a great move, but it's not great for you if you're on the other
Oh,
receiving end.
yeah, well, because at one point I just crosses her arms and
Receiving
sits
it, right.
down with it too. So yeah, I was like, I just was surprised that she had that much stamina to do that match for that length of time. I don't know if I'm asking you guys, do you think it was sloppy in parts because they probably didn't have enough time to actually put this thing together with the two of them, or not, or just like it's just a mismatch type of match in general?
There's just, I mean, and Ryan will attest to this. That there's just nights that you're off. It happens.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, no, there are nights that that you're off, that the crowd's not feeling it.
Okay.
I mean, if you're, and this is really hard
it
too.
just compounds, and it just compounds and compounds and compounds.
Yeah,
Okay.
if you're not someone who's stellar at reading the crowd, which in my opinion, neither one are.
Oh, okay.
If you had like John Cena, or Roman Reigns or Cody Rhodes or
Punk,
you know,
McIntyre,
CM Punk, Drew
Rollins.
McIntyre, the Rock. I mean, you know, if you want to, you know, Stone Cold Steve Austin, like these people were incredible at reading the crowd, and also the referee is there to help. A lot of people don't know that, but the referee says, "Hey guys, you know, the crowd's kind of dying down, so maybe during
Heat it
this
up.
submission move, you know, kind of lock it in and make it look like it hurts more." And then, you know, as the face, you kind of like your shoulders hit the mat, and the ref is like, "All right, here we go. We're gonna count 1, 2, 3. No, shut up." Gets the crowd energized again. So yeah,
Okay. I see.
yeah, it's a team effort, not just between the wrestlers, but with the
Okay.
referee hearing things because
It's the
he's not working. He's
Okay.
not getting body slammed. He's not, you know, doing this, doing that. He
well,
hears the
Jessica Carr
crowd.
got
But,
well,
yeah.
well, Jessica Carr got a little bump.
She
herself.
did get a
Yeah,
little
no, I see her. I see her over there. Yeah, no, I see her over there. But yeah, it was to come off of CM Punk and Drew McIntyre.
tough
You
going.
that was
You got a
going to
tall
be
act. You got a tall act to follow.
you were
Yeah.
gonna you were gonna be a lull. That's all you were gonna be. What's up, Jacob? How you doing? You were gonna
Hey,
be a
dude, what's
lull.
going on, man?
Jacob.
So unfortunately for the ladies, they were a lull.
Yeah. So this match I gave a C. It was average. It was a good TV match. It's not a premium live event match.
Yeah.
And that goes just into the next one, which is Finn Balor and Damian Priest, which on paper, it made sense that this should be on Bad Blood. Finn screwed Damian at SummerSlam. They've had their whole back and forth. Unfortunately, in my opinion, the wrong guy won. If you wanted this feud to continue, Finn needed to win. So the whole point of this match was Damian wanted revenge from getting screwed over at SummerSlam. Well, Damian got his win. As far as I'm concerned, this feud is over. It's done.
Yeah. It sucks. I mean, I guess the weird thing for me is I still don't see the it factor to me with Finn Balor. Because I guess when I was introduced to him, he was doing the whole demon's makeup, and he was called a demon. But I'm just it's a dude. Yeah, it's a dude in like the wrestling pants and Nikes. What's demon about this guy? There's nothing intimidating or a tall order that he has to follow to beat this guy. Because in my mind, it's like, well, Damian Priest should win this because I don't see Finn Balor winning this. Even if you had Carlito and JD McDonough coming from the Judgment Day, I'm like, I don't see you winning. But like you said, now that Damian Priest wins, like there's nothing to follow this. It's over.
No.
And there was no before you could really build up anything else that you could take this as far as you wanted to, but you killed it early. So I wouldn't have any interest in seeing any future battles between the two of them because I know how it's going to go, even with interference.
Right. And maybe they're going to shift the Judgment Day off to something else. Maybe they're going to do a small feud with the. They'll do a small feud with the. They'll do a small feud with the. They'll do a small feud with the LWO, and then after that feud's done, they'll feud with the Wyatts. Who knows? But as far as an individual feud between Damian and Finn, I think it's over. Now the match in and of itself, from an in-ring perspective, was fine. It was fine. It was a well executed match. The one thing I did not like, right at the end, the way this match was booked, you had Finn who hit the coup de grace, which is his double stomp from the top rope. Damian kicks out of that. Okay, fine. And then Finn does two more across Damian's back, and Damian basically just no sells it.
That's true.
And then grabs Finn by the throat, one south of heaven, 1, 2, 3. and Finn Balor becomes pin. Finn becomes pin.
Yep.
So
True.
Finn Balor.
Pin Balor. Nice.
So from a total overall, the heat, the execution, everything, this match, it's a C plus. Again, should have been on TV, on paper, made sense, but you could have put something else in this place and had a much better show.
Agreed.
Yep. I would agree with that. It was so, in my opinion, bad that it got pretty much 2 sentences on this.
Yeah.
So not trying to be a dick, but like, woof,
Nah.
you're
Appropriate here, man.
And then we come to the Women's World Championship match, which I thought was the worst match of the entire show.
Yeah.
Rhea Ripley versus Liv Morgan for the championship with Dominic Mysterio suspended in a shark cage.
It was so
Normally, the shark cage hangs above the ring, but because you had a giant Hell in a Cell, it's hanging in the aisle. So that's why the cage was there. Now, as far as I heard this said from 2 other folks, and it makes sense. This match never really got out of her first gear.
Yeah.
In just from what I saw. Now, you had some good spots from Liv, and Liv has from when Liv came up to the main roster from NXT as a member of the Riot Squad. From then till now is a marked improvement. And the fact that she's still adding stuff to her arsenal is still very, very good. I mean, we saw the sunset flip power bomb. We saw that crucifix bomb that she does very well. We saw the start of the 3 amigos. She got to 2 of them, but that's a standing suplex. So adding stuff to her arsenal, she's becoming a more competent in-ring wrestler. Then it got goofy. And it got goofy when Dominic picked the lock where there was no lock, but he's chained by his ankle to the inside of the cage. And of course, we never saw that happen. So all of a sudden, Dominic falls out, and I'm like, "Oh shit! Oh, no!"
Yeah.
And then Rhea goes to the referee, and you see it in the ref cam. I'm gonna need a minute because I get some unfinished business here, and you can hear the ref say, "Okay, you've earned it," and I'm like, "Are you joking?" And she grabs the kendo stick, and Dominic is a piñata, and then the ref comes outside the ring, and the way this was supposed to work is the ref was supposed to come check on Dom, and as Liv is going back to the ring, Raquel Rodriguez was supposed to blindside her then.
Oh, okay.
So the ref's back would have been to the whole thing, and then put Liv on top of her to cover her. I think this thing got so botched that I honestly think Paul Levesque just said, "Dude, just throw it out. Call for the bell. Call for the bell. Call for the bell." Now, for a championship match on a premium live event, again, for a title to end in a DQ, boo.
Ew.
Boo.
Fucked up.
This gets a D.
I'm not gonna lie to you guys. This was the only match I like fast forwarded through or watched it at like 2.5 times and 5.5 times speed because I was like, there's either nothing really going on here. Now, I'm not gonna lie, rated really great. I know that she did the Razor's Edge. That was phenomenal. It's like that was great. I like the fact that you're saying she's adding things to her arsenal. It's gonna make her a more well-rounded wrestler. And I'm actually excited about the prospect of her going against Charlotte Flair because it's gonna be technical as well as exciting and brutal. But with this, I was like, what was the point of this? We watched Rhea Ripley whack a Dom, but then the minute this other girl comes out, that's the bell. Ring the bell. It's a DQ now. I was like, what is happening here? And I was glad I watched it 5 times because watching it at 1 time would have made me have a stroke. So yeah, it was easily the worst match to me of the night, and that's saying something with Nia Jax and Bayley's match.
Yep.
It was the worst match of the night.
Easily, it's waste.
Was the worst match.
I think the only thing I would have. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say all and 0 payoff for anybody.
Yeah, that's either 0 payoff or someone getting injured would have made this more infuriating. So I'm just like 0 payoff is the net of it, but still, it seems like it wasted everyone's time.
Yep.
And all this does is it just will delay Rhea taking the title off of Liv. It will delay it till I think Saturday night's main event in December because we're going to go through. Well, we will talk about Crown Jewel in just a second. Yep. And then we got Survivor Series after that, where it'll be a team Rhea versus Team Liv. And as far as TV goes, Rhea is going to have to go through now Raquel to get to Liv. So,
I mean, do you think it's a good idea giving her an enforcer to have to go through now to get to Liv, even though she was already wrestling her at Bad Blood, or just it delays the inevitable?
It's just prolonging it. That's all.
Okay.
It's giving it another wrinkle. And the problem with Raquel is this.
Okay.
She came out to no pop. None at all.
I didn't know who she was.
Okay, good. Because the last time we saw her was in Elimination Chamber, was in the Elimination Chamber, and she's not over. The fans really don't know who she is because she's got a condition called mast cell activation syndrome, where your body basically goes into an allergic reaction with nothing to spark that the reaction. So you'll just be doing your day and you'll break out in hives just randomly.
Okay. Wow.
Hives, rashes, any type of allergic reaction. There are no symptoms. There's no cure. So you just gotta get it under control. And good for her that it's under control now.
Yeah.
That she can come back and compete and perform. But you're basically building her again from square one.
Yep.
That does suck. I thought she was one of the announcers. I'm like, what is one of the announcers doing? I had no idea she was a wrestler. I was so confused. I'm not gonna lie. I was confused.
There is history there because she and Rhea were friends and then enemies down in NXT. And then she and Liv are 2-time women's tag team champions.
Okay.
So there is history, and it does fit into the story. It's just no one knows who the Raquel is.
Yeah, that would have helped going in, but yeah, I had no idea who she was.
And now we come to the main event. Cody Rhodes and Roman Reigns in their first time teaming up against Solo Sikoa and Jacob Fatu. This was a good match. This match was fun to watch. The first 3 quarters was a little on the dull side because it moved at the pace of a Roman Reigns match. Roman Reigns is Yeah.
I mean, that was a good one.
But hey, stop me when I am telling lies. Stop me when
no,
I'm
that one.
That was a good one. That was a good one.
because Roman Reigns' match are very methodical, plotting at times, but it's it's the pace he likes to work at, and it's a very successful system. The unfortunate thing, there were 3 other guys in that match who are not named Roman Reigns. So
Right.
so you get the teases of Roman and Jacob, where Jacob moves at where again, talk about different styles. Roman is a slow pace. Jacob is on another level. And they had that really great spot where Jacob hits the moonsault, Solo hits the splash.
Yep.
That was
Great
amazing.
sequence, very
That
well
was awesome.
executed. But I knew going into this that I was praying because I was not confident about this, but I really thought that Roman Reigns is not going to lose his first match since Mania, and I was right, thank God. Toward the end of the match, we've been talking about it, wondering if, and quite frankly, this was a great time to have his return there because
Hold on.
all of a sudden you see.
Hold on.
see
I
Solo.
got it.
Oh, my man, he was ready.
So you see,
go ahead. Describe it into it.
so we have Solo, and he's looking, and you see Tama Tonga, you see Tongaloa, but there's a third person there in the hoodie and the bandana, and I'm like, oh yes.
This is not the one, but I know what you're talking about.
No.
Yeah. So keep going.
And yes, of course, with super kicks, which I must say is a better super kick than Jay's. I'm just saying.
That's fair.
Yeah,
That's fair.
You can say it. It's Jimmy. So Jimmy's back. The distraction is enough for Roman to hit the spear, get the 1, 2, 3, and then secures that win. Great, absolutely great. The match ended the way it should. You get Cody and Roman. They kind of look at each other and they give a nod of like, okay, you held your word. I'll give you that respect. When Cody did that dive off the top rope onto the announce table, onto Jacob, he salutes Roman like, this is you the rest of the way, pal. I'm out.
Saw that. Yeah, that was great.
And then, as Roman and Jimmy, they hug. Great moment there. Huge pop. I might say the unveiling of Jimmy might have been the biggest pop of the entire night, because that was. Yes, I will say it. Because, and then as Jimmy, shut up. As Jimmy and Roman are walking up the aisleway, the Tongans and Solo and Jacob starts beating on Cody, and Jacob's like, "Oos, we gotta go. And Roman is like, "This was a one-time thing." And Jimmy's like, "Dude, he had your back. Do what you want. I got you. You the man." Then they go back in and they chase off everyone. The Tongans are at ringside. Jacob and Solo go up into the stands, and that plays into something later. And then you have all 3 of them there. Roman picks the title up. He's looking at it. This was mine. Gives it back. And again, they nod. Mutual respect. They respect each other. Don't necessarily like each other, but they respect each other. And then we were treated, and I use the word loosely, treated, to that horrible entrance theme and coming out looking as douchey as ever in his gay vest, in his People's Champion belt, which it might as, that might as well be the $1 million belt at this point.
Dude, you are so salty. You are so salty.
I'm not, dude. I mean, I don't mean to take his part away from him. I kind of agree. I get it. The Versace jacket, I get it. You're Hollywood, we get it. But the belt doesn't make any sense because it's like a belt that only I can have, but it's a belt specially made for me. It's like, hey, look, remember me? I used to be important. Here's my badge or my card that says I'm important. I don't like the belt. I thought it would have been great for the one on WrestleMania,
you guys know,
but not now.
You guys know where the belt came from and the title, right?
Okay,
I don't think it would matter though. But go ahead.
Because the Rock asked Muhammad Ali's widow to be used the People's Champion. So, and she's the one. Worse. She's the one. No, this was decades ago, dumbass.
No, I'm saying
it was decades ago.
Hey, your daddy died. Can I take his belt and then parade it around?
No. He asked his wife.
Okay.
And she's the one who presented the belt at the last WrestleMania.
Presented. She did not make the belt.
She didn't say bring that with you everywhere.
Hold the fuck on. Jade Cargill, bitch. You want to get fucking spicy?
Any belt she has been given to her. When she dropped it, she gave it away. Jay doesn't walk out with the I'm an action figure belt. Okay, I would get on her just as much.
No, she looks like an action figure who's stiff. Like she's like
exactly. That's why I'm saying if she had one saying I'm like
all right, JV, bring us home.
Sorry.
Okay, so The Rock is out there for 1 minute. Gives a 1, 2, 3 throat slash and walks off.
Well, we're just gonna watch it because, quite frankly, that was the biggest pop of the night. Doesn't seem so fucking lame now, does it?
It's still lame.
To you.
I'm not gonna say it's lame. I'm just saying
to you.
Coming out with the belt was lame.
No offense, dude. You don't represent the audience because the audience represents when they cheer.
And neither do you.
I'm just saying. I've got the video. You don't have video.
Okay.
I mean, we're disagreeing. That's what we do. I mean,
yeah.
So E.G.O. You wanted to know why? Hell in the Cell was put first. You're looking at it. That's
bullshit. That is you don't have evidence of that in your talking shit. No, stop.
Yep. Gary,
I swear that better not be the reason. That better not be the reason.
You don't have evidence of
that. That's irritating. There's no reason why the match is that good.
Evidence of this.
All I'm saying is, and there better not be, because if I find out that we took a certified 4.5 to 5-star match for a 1 minute cameo for someone we knew was going to be the end. You could have done that backstage. Is all I'm saying. For all I care, there's no reason that you have to put one in front of the other. It makes it so that we start out here and we end here, and then they have to bring it kind of up to mid just for The Rock to come up in a belt that technically he can never lose because it was gifted to him as People's Champ, which makes it dumb to bring it around because he can't lose the belt. For all I'm to say is 1, 2, 3, throat slash and walk out. That's irritating.
No,
that's terrible fan service to me.
Okay,
so
can I actually say something about this?
Go ahead.
It's actually easy for The Rock to lose that belt. You know why? Because if he challenges Cody Rhodes belt to belt, remember when The Rock left? They traded belts. They held them. Don't shake your fucking head.
They're not going to do that,
bro. I will say they tried. They tried this with the BMF belt.
No. Hold on. I'm sorry.
Same thing with the BMF belt for UFC.
Do y'all have crystal balls?
I got 2 of them.
Yes,
I
why?
mean,
Go on.
what are you guys doing? Like you're literally conjecturing about the fact that the way things happen, and you don't know.
I'm
Can
just
we-
saying that I say I'm taking it if what Joker's saying is true, and that we switched out a
maybe have
great
your own
match.
opinion.
That's what I'm saying. That I was like, there's no other reason to me that you would have a match that great go first. It seemed to me that you would start with Bailey and then work your way up. That CM Punk and Drew McIntyre would close it out.
Or
To
maybe
me.
this CM Punk wants to, take some time off. Maybe
Well,
I mean, does it the
well,
he's
order
he
wouldn't
already
older.
happen
announced
then?
that. Well, he already announced that on the Monday Night Raw, where he said, I mentioned I have 0 Hell in the Cell matches left, and I'm pretty banged up. I'm unsure where this leads me, but I'll see you when I get back, and then leaves. So some folks were saying, oh, is CM Punk announcing retirement? No. CM Punk is telling you, I'm not going to Saudi because I've been very vocal of my opposition to the relationship the WWE has had with the government of Saudi Arabia. I'm not going to Crown Jewel. Now, we saw during the Bad Blood show, which I thought they were going to do something cool because they were announcing it as historic. Be careful when you use that word. It's usually a big letdown.
Yeah.
So we're going back to the old Survivor Series, champion versus champion for bragging rights. No titles on the line, except this monstrosity. There's another picture of, and when they displayed it, when they unveiled, that thing is hideous. Now, when Paul Levesque was out there, they had the crown jewel lectern and this obviously a belt underneath the cover. I thought that they were going to announce a tournament to crown a women's mid-tier champion at Crown Jewel. That's what I thought.
Yeah.
And then I see this, and I'm like, oh, so we're gonna do Saudi Mania, where the champion gets this belt. It's a trophy. That's all it is. It's not a championship. It's not a title. It will never be defended. It's not going to appear on WWE TV. This is just a trophy. It's
a
gaudy.
participation trophy, dude. Wow.
It's gaudy. And here's what I don't like about it is you can't play into your normal storylines with this. Because let's say you had a match with Gunther and Cody Rhodes at a premium live event where you didn't want either one of them to lose. Well, you could have a DQ. You could have a DQ or a double count out or something. No, you made this belt for a reason. Someone is going to eat a pin. Somebody has to take a pin for this. So what I can't stand is now you've got your top champions on both brands, women's and men's, competing for this, which means nothing. One of them has to take a pin. Whoever takes the pin, again, they're a top champion, is going to look less than.
Yeah, that's gonna suck. I mean, for me, I heard when Triple H was actually doing the announcement for this, they definitely booed at the beginning. But the minute he said Crown Jewel, they let him have it. I don't know how he steered them back because, frankly, I was trying to get over because it went way too long to unveil a belt that nobody's gonna really care about. Honestly, it's like go ahead.
This is basically the same thing as when Braun Strowman won the greatest Rumble ever, which was in Saudi, and they gave him this green strapped WWE Championship Saudiized belt, which was never seen again.
Right. I was like, are you trying to prove to like the people that are investing that they're actually getting something from their investment? Because they are paying to have the talent there. you shouldn't have to do any more than that if that's what they're paying for. So to create a belt for this that is going to sit on the shelf until. Go ahead.
I don't think the WWE paid to have this made.
No. That's what I'm saying. I think that and that's why I'm just like, but it doesn't mean anything. And it's like, well, if they're there, it's it's technically a big exhibition that you pay for.
Yes.
If you're trying to legitimize it, it only makes you have more questions. You're like, why did you have this? A mid-tier belt would have been fantastic to debut there. To be like, hey, we always remember that our first women's mid-tier title was there. Gave some legitimacy to the women's event. I mean, I don't see how much further they could have gone. I know that's the other thing, and that's why I said I don't know if this is a thing that Vince signed like a 10-year contract with them or not. But
Vince signed a pretty long deal with them, and their contract is not done until 2027.
Right, and so maybe this is like, hey, we're just eating this, and for the next 3 years until we can get out of it. Because I know that they've actually tried to get
6 shows, 6 more shows.
Yeah, I'm like, and maybe after the 6 more, they're out. But
here's the problem: they're paying $50 million per show.
What? How much?
$50 million per show.
Hey, I don't know. I'd have to see how this works out with.
Okay, well, E.G.O. If someone hands you a $50 million check, and you are an entertainment company, and they say we would like this stuff to happen, are you going to turn that down?
After the first contract, I have to really seriously reconsider negotiations. Pre-Vince, I probably would take it. Post-Vince, I know there's certain thing is too big to fail, and not all money is good money. That's all I'm saying. If it's $50 million a show for 6, that's $300 million. I mean, at a certain point, you get to be not. It's not a good example. It's the only one I can think of. Punk, you've got your money, you got what you do, and now it's like, well, hey, I do it if I want to, but if I'm not feeling doing that, or it's gonna suppress some of the talent around me, I'm not gonna do it. That I'm coming from that angle for it. Otherwise, it doesn't make sense to me.
So this also puts every story on hold for the next 4 weeks, because everything is building toward this. And like I said, I do not like a champion versus champion with no title, with nothing on the line except this, because as Ryan did when you were away, if this was, say, a Cody Rhodes Gunther match, and you don't want either one to take a pin, you can have a DQ double count out or something. But you made this belt for a reason. Somebody has to take a pin. Somebody's going to eat a pin, and that's gonna suck.
Yeah, it's ugly.
Well, there's that, but you've got your 2 top champions from both brands, the women and men. There has to be a winner, has to be a loser. Whoever loses is somehow less of a champion. That's my big issue.
And they said that the champion versus champion is for the Crown Jewel Championship belt.
Bragging rights is what it is. It's bragging rights.
This is awful. I thought they were going to say, well, hey, I know it's champion versus champion for these 2 matches, but hey, another one that they're setting up is going to be for the Crown Jewel, because otherwise it doesn't make any sense. Hey, neither of your titles on the line, but this fictitious one is.
It should have been more like a King of the Ring style thing, or maybe Ultimate Battle Royal or something like that, because it just doesn't make any sense to me. I don't get it.
You see now, King of the Ring was a good concept because it actually led to something.
Yeah.
This is nothing. Yeah. You're never going to see this belt on regular WWE TV. This is specifically for this event. It's a trophy. Is what it is.
Yeah.
It's for a trophy case.
Pretty much.
And it's ugly as
right. And it's like, where's it going to sit next to your world title? Like, where does it even go?
Which by the way, Gunther came out and his belt is a good sized belt. This
Yep.
thing here was like from his crotch halfway up his chest. That's how big this thing is. This is gaudy, but it's also very Saudi too. I'm just saying.
That's fair.
I-
It's the whatchamacallit. It is, what watch brand is that? Oh my god. They make huge watches, and unfortunately I have a few of them. Oh, but they're those big Timex gaudy watches that people wear.
Olivas or something.
I think so. I'm gonna forget, and in the middle of the stream blurt the name out. But yeah, people that have the big gaudy watches that you're like, I know it probably costs money, but it kind of looks cheap. It's like, you know, half the fun of being a wrestler is having a 6-pack. This thing's gonna hold it the whole thing. You're just gonna see like the chest and balls.
The best part of the whole thing, which could end up being terrible, because this was in Atlanta. You had celebrities there, whatever. Bill Goldberg was at ringside, and Gunther comes out, and Gunther has just become a great troll, just dry humor, dry delivery, just little zingers, and he pisses off Goldberg as Goldberg climbs over the barricade to try and come out to the ring. Security geeks are coming out, and Gunther says, "Come on, Bill, come on. I got 3 minutes to waste on you." And I'm like,
wow.
Yeah, Bill's back.
Classic. That is classic.
That's well done.
Gunther, I love that man. That man is great. He is awesome. So we're at about the hour mark. Are we ready to go back down to Nostalgia Lane with not a top 5, but a top 10 this time?
Unless you want to address real quick Triple H's criticism surrounding certain representation.
I addressed that. I did a video this morning. Dempsey, if you're still in the chat, pop a link to that in the video. Pop a link to that.
Whoa.
That's wild.
Wow.
That's crazy. Wow.
All right.
That's
We're gonna do the
safe,
top
bro.
10 wrestling factions.
All right.
Of all time.
Actual factions.
So again, the way this is scored, your number 10 will be worth 1 point. As we go up the chain to your number 1, your number 1 is worth 10 points. So, so since it is all 3 of us here, hypothetically, if all of us, our number 1 was the same answer, it would get 30 points.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. So
All right.
we will use our headline for this.
Also, a faction is 3 or more people. I was a dumbass last week, so that's my fault. I've made that correction.
3 or more, not a manager.
Yes.
Okay. Are we ready?
I'm ready.
Yes.
E.G.O, you ready? And
yes, I am.
Reveal your number 10. Okay. And interesting. Okay. I'll go first. So the Hart Foundation. Now, normally you might say, whoa, that's a tag team. And initially you would be right. It would be Bret the Hitman Hart, Jim the Anvil Neidhart, and Jimmy Hart, the Mouth of the South. However, in 1997, Bret the Hitman Hart, with his brother Owen Hart and his brother-in-laws Jim the Anvil Neidhart, Davey Boy Smith, and family friend Flying Brian Pillman, created a group and just kept the name the Hart Foundation. Now, they didn't really do a lot because they didn't really last very long. They didn't even last the entire year. After Brian passed away, they broke up a month later, but their existence prompted a response in the form of another action, which I'm sure many of us will talk about later. Okay, E.G.O, let's go with yours with the Judgment Day.
All right, so I will say that just hearing from you guys how this worked, it seemed like it seems like Judgment Day kind of worked for everyone involved. It gave Rhea Ripley a stable with which to work. I will say it sounds like it single-handedly saved Dom Mysterio from obscurity, gave a one leg up to Damian Priest, and I guess it kind of insulated Finn Balor to an extent. It's not that they've all gone their separate ways. You can see them shine individually as stars, but I don't think that they actually get that kind of shine or that kind of prominence if they aren't together. I'm not sure how long their time together was. Maybe 2 years, maybe is my guess of how long they were together. Is that stable? Yeah, which is, I mean,
it's around there. It's around there.
Yeah, it's a good time to put people together, but breaking apart before it gets stale, and the factions that have happened since make sense. I mean, the fact that they're split and kind of taking sides, I like it. So I mean, for them to be such a new concept to me and to be on the list, I kind of like what they've become or what they actually have led to for them individually. I still don't get Finn Balor post Judgment Day, but I mean, everyone else makes sense. I like them solo now.
All right. Ryan, the right to censor. Good one.
The right to censor. Well, this was Vince McMahon's response to basically I can't, what is it? It's not the FTC. What is the
FCC?
The religious right.
FCC.
The religious right. The religious right.
Yeah, it was actually to legitimate moderators on television trying to tell Vince McMahon what to do. So it was goofy. It was like, I'm like, the entrance was golden, and you had Steven Richards, of course. It was nails on a chalkboard, and then you got they took down the Godfather, who was about the whole train, and then Val Venus, and then Ivy and Bull Buchanan.
Bull Buchanan, right?
Yeah, it was something that was so over the top. Talking about actual TV censorship, because the WWF was doing things that were a little spicier,
raunchy.
Yeah, it was a lot spicier. And so Vince McMahon thought that would be a fun idea. So that's why it kind of lives in infamy as one of my favorite factions, the right to censor, because The Rock, Stone Cold Steve Austin, they went up against them. And of course, Stone Cold did his thing. And it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun.
Oh, yeah. Good choice. Good choice. All right, time for our number 9.
All right, let me change that. I'm ready.
Give me 1 second. E.G.O, you ready?
I'm ready.
And 1, 2, 3, reveal. Hey, here we go. Hey, Ryan. Smart move there. All right. E.G.O, we'll go with you first, sir.
All right. Again, most of the things that I've been seeing lately had been relatively new, but I mean new is like maybe over the last 8 or so years. But I don't see many fun factions. They're either establishment types, anti-establishment types. I've seen the spooky genre. I haven't seen fun in a while. And the first time I saw New Day was, I think it was at SummerSlam in Philly. And I'm like, who are these weird dudes throwing pancakes, coming out with trombones? And why is everyone saying New Day rocks? It took me like an hour to figure out that's what they were chanting. But I hadn't seen anyone that was actually just fun, but they could actually wrestle too. Not gimmicky. They had they were technically sound on there, but they were fun to watch and entertaining. So I actually thought that, hey, these guys are actually pretty cool. then I mean, honestly, I'm not sure if you guys would think this too, but do you think that Big E would have been like a champion had his neck not been an issue at the trajectory he was
a
going?
champion.
Yeah,
He was a champion.
he was a
I
champion.
see.
Yeah.
I missed that. I'm mad I missed that. I gotta go back and see that. I mean, and Kofi was there as well. Do you guys think that Kofi would have become champion had he not been in New Day to like help him stay afloat?
No.
That,
No.
that's
I think Kofi was actually on a better trajectory than before the New Day, and I think the New Day kind of like kind of dick kicked him. But that's me.
really okay. I mean,
Yeah.
the way that I'd heard it from other people, I didn't think he was going to be without that kind of help to like say, hey, look, this guy deserves a really big push. He's
Dude,
in a trio, and he's
he
like one of the fan favorites.
It was literally like SOS or whatever the Jamaican thing. It was like he was big. The New Day was not.
Okay.
Kofi
I'll talk about
Kingston. Okay.
Spoiler
Uh,
alert: New Day will be talked about later.
Okay.
So,
all right.
Ryan, Evolution.
Well, we're probably going to cover a lot of the same points. So Evolution was literally Ric Flair, Triple H, Batista, Randy Orton, and it was one of the most incredible factions that might actually be in wrestling history because of the old, the new. Triple H, being a huge fan, of course, Ric Flair came back to the WWE, the Nature Boy, and they took Batista, who became a massive world champion, and Randy Orton, who is still wrestling as a massive, draw. But it was a bunch of young talent. It was literally Ric Flair and Triple H, and then it was Batista and Randy Orton, and it was something that was so fun to watch because you saw all these different talents, different moves. Ric Flair is, of course, a legend. He's styling and profiling. He's doing the whole gimmick thing, the whole style thing. Triple H is very much he's an incredible bad guy. He's one of the best bad guys in heels in history because he is literally called the cerebral assassin for a reason because he knows how to pinpoint how to piss the audience off. And then Batista became a massive face. And Randy Orton became the Viper, who was a little bit of teetering in between both worlds. So I think Evolution, the reason that it was so good and it deserves to be on this top 10 is because it was old. It was legend. It was experienced and it was new and it was exciting. And that's why I picked it.
Okay, let me expound on that. Evolution from 03 to 05 is their heyday. In that time, Triple H won the World Heavyweight Championship 5 times. Randy Orton won it once. Batista won it once, and then Intercontinental Championship Flair won it one time. Randy won it one time, and then Batista and Flair won the tag team titles twice. So very impressive title runs in a very short amount of time. This was basically the modern Four Horsemen. And with this, you had the past, the present, and the future. Ric Flair was the best of the past. The present was Triple H. The future, to Batista, Randy Orton. And under this, Randy Orton became the youngest world champion in WWF WWE history. So definitely deserves a spot in any faction top 10. Okay.
All right.
Our number 8.
Ready
Are we ready?
Yep, ready to
Real
go.
quick.
Ryan,
Hold
ready?
on. That's not how you're supposed to spell that. All right, I'm ready.
Okay. Reveal.
Wow.
Oh,
Okay.
wow. Okay. All right. E.G.O, we'll go with you. The Brood.
All right. It was so quintessential 90s to me. So Buffy the Vampire Slayer, and I loved it. For one of the things that I couldn't watch, for me not being able to watch a lot of shows as a kid, I could sneak in the Brood and say I kind of like watched Buffy the Vampire Slayer because it was close enough for me. I just like the fact they straddled the I guess the spiritual or the vampire aesthetic of it all. And to me, you just introduced Edge and Christian as Edge and Christian at the beginning. I wouldn't have understood it without the Brood. It's kind of like they made little moves for them going to like, okay, we're doing the goofy, we're vampires gimmick to, hey, we run out through the crowd to like Edge actually being a superstar. I missed his whole run as a champ, but I could see like, okay, well, I could see now how he actually built up his brand from the Brood to get to Edge and Christian to doing the TLC matches with the Hardy Boys and the Dudley Boys to like cementing himself as a champ. I mean, it's mainly just a thing saying, hey, Edge did great, but I don't think that he could have been the Edge that I got to see without being in the Brood. I think it was actually just a cool faction that it was quintessential 90s and got the whole vampire aesthetic down.
All right. Well, I will go first then.
Go ahead,
Again, after you. The Nation of Domination. We're gonna, we're gonna talk about that the same way. Nation of Domination. The Rock. The Rock. Rocky Maivia. No. Actually, Flex Cavana. And then Rocky Maivia. Okay. Such a shit show. Such a a downfall. And then of course, Vince McMahon let The Rock loose. And it was like, do you smell what The Rock is cooking? And finally, The Rock has come back. And he joined the Nation of Domination, which was huge for The Rock. It was a huge step stool to being launched into the stratosphere, like Stone Cold Steve Austin. Now, not to say that the other members were not a part of that. Well,
or JV.
I don't know.
Oh.
I think
Dude, StreamYard's been weird lately. Hold on.
It has. Yeah.
Okay.
And that being said, you had Farouk, who was a part of the Nation of Domination, who became a part of the APA, the Acolyte Protection. You all right, dude? You good?
You good?
I'm fine. I'm good.
All right. So that being said, I picked the Nation, and JV, it's your turn. DX.
Okay. D Generation X. I said that the Heart Foundation faction created a response. This is the response. D Generation X. The original 4 members, which was HBK, Triple H, China, and a lot of folks don't know this. Rick Rude was the 4th original member. They then, after Rick Rude left to go join WCW and the thing over there, then you brought in X-Pac, the New Age Outlaws. You brought in Tori Wilson, Tori, and they kind of just ran roughshod over the WWE for about 3 years, 97 to 2000. Now, famously, they rolled up to the WCW arena where Nitro was being held in a tank. These were the naughty kids, and they were racy, they were raunchy, sometimes a little racist, but that's another time. And I'm sure they caused a few kids to go to detention when they said suck it or gave the DX chop. But the DX chop is still something you see being used by multiple superstars to
Yeah.
this day. So highly influential. But then after DX disbanded in 2000, they tried to reconstitute it with Shawn Michaels, Triple H, and Hornswoggle. Okay, sure.
Okay.
It was it was dumb.
Sounds
So
weird.
I like to remember DX when they were at their peak. So that's kind of where they stay.
Nice.
So all right, our next one.
I'm ready.
All right, let me get myself ready here.
Oops.
E.G.O, you ready?
Yep. Are we typing it now? Yep.
All right.
I'm ready.
And reveal. Hey, E.G.O, there we go.
Yeah.
E.G.O, go first.
All right. So again, I think this is what 2016, I think, for me, the first time I saw the Wyatt family. And I hadn't been that weirded out since like when Undertaker was doing his thing and they had that whole Ministry of Darkness thing going on. So I mean, it felt so eerie to behold. And I'm just like thinking, okay, well, this is just great showmanship. Then I found out that Bray Wyatt was leader of this thing. His father was the IRS man, and he could wrestle, and it gave some legitimacy to him. And the fact that he was also fantastic on the mic, and that whole world in my hand with the championship belt is always going to go down as one of the best. I don't know if you call it a promo or a speech of sorts to me, but it's one of the best that I've seen in ring for a champ. And so I just like the fact that they were able to do something in such a digital age. They went old school with the lanterns, the dry ice fog, that backwoods feel to the music, the fact that they're building some of that mystery, and there's also kind of fear. And you're looking at Bray Wyatt, you're like, he could actually instill fear in somebody. It was almost like a movie made production of a character in a wrestling ring. And so it kind of harkened me back to some of the Attitude Era, but it was for the new age. And so I just think it was a fantastic faction, and it was Bray Wyatt's genius that brought it to life. So it's got to be one of my top 10 factions.
All right. Normally, you might think for me this would be a lot higher, but
yeah,
here's the thing, and everything E.G.O said is true. Bray Wyatt, not only did he create this character, not only did he deliver this character, you believed this character in everything he said, and his promo style was that more of a sermon. And then
it's a sermon.
So you got his followers, the Wyatt family. It was Luke Harper and Eric Rowan, and then in comes Braun Strowman after that. And they lasted for a faction. They actually lasted a while. They lasted from 2012 to 2017. So like 4.5 years they were around. So the only reason they're not higher on this list is while they played the mind games great, the mind games were great, didn't win a lot of championships. There wasn't a lot of gold attached to this action. And that's my only drawback to it. Had they had a lot more, had they had more gold or multiple, even small runs, you might have sold me a whole lot more.
Okay.
So Ryan, the Hart Foundation.
So the Hart Foundation is, quite frankly, one of the biggest institutions in wrestling history. It really is. Now, JV, of course, alluded to why, but the thing is, though, is that like, what's with the bug on the remote? Like, what are you doing? Sorry, there was a bug on my remote on my mouse. The Hart Foundation is huge. It's Bret Hart, its own Hart. It's literally everybody else. And the reason the Hart Foundation lives on is because in my opinion, Owen Hart, because of his tragic fate. Bret Hart literally blazed trails with Hulk Hogan and stuff like that. But the Hart Foundation lives on because Owen Hart was killed tragically, and it was a massive thing. And it's very sad. Even in today's world, I don't think you can find footage of what happened during that event. I think it's all been literally scrubbed. I've never Googled it, but every time you listen to and look for it, it seems to be, from other people. It's just the Hart Foundation was a staple of pre-wrestling, pre-WWF.
Yeah,
All right.
agreed.
All right. For our number 5. I'm sorry.
6.
Sixth.
Mhm.
Sixth. Sorry.
Yep.
Sixth. Sorry. The number 6.
Hold
Okay.
on. Wait a minute.
Are we ready?
Real quick. I'm ready.
And reveal.
Nice. All right.
Four Horsemen was not a WWE faction.
I did the same
But
thing.
That was in WA.
There was
Well, I got to sit this one out then.
So, E.G.O. Ministry of Darkness. Go for it.
This is the only reason I didn't have the Wyatt family higher, was because I give it to the OG guys at the Scare Factory, which is Ministry of Darkness. Ministry of Darkness to me was like, on one side you had a slice of peanut butter, and it was like Gangrel and the Acolytes. And the other hand, you had Jelly, which is the Undertaker. And you're like, these taste great individually, but what if we put them together? And it was perfect harmony. And for me, it was great about the spiritual havoc they seemed to run roughshod over the WWE. You would have the Acolytes take out somebody, then Gangrel would snatch somebody, and then they'd all have to report to the Undertaker. It built up and I think they were kind of going after that whole satanic panic angle too, which is I guess why they made it a little bit more devilish to begin with, and it still was quintessential 90s vampire like with that satanic edge on it, which is why it gave such a big pop when Stone Cold had to go in there and save Stephanie McMahon. But that was the first time I'd seen kind of like the spiritual act have a realistic component to it. They would just, there's the one thing where they're like, ooh, it's spooky, and someone gets here. Like, no, they're snatching folks, and there's going to be a sacrifice. And as you're 7 or 8, you're like, they wouldn't really sacrifice somebody, would they? I mean, but he said he would, and we're still watching it, so I have no idea what's going to happen. But the sheer terror that it instilled in me as a child, I'm never going to forget that. So to this day, when someone, if you ever have a lights out and I hear the gong sound, I'm out, just for the fear, PTSD the Ministry of Darkness gave me. So that's why they're higher on my list than the other Wyatt family.
All righty. The New Day definitely belongs in the top 10 factions of all time. They debuted July 21st of 2014. They've been around for 10 years. Now, they were given a shit gimmick to start with. They were going to come out in like Southern Baptist choir robes, and their original entrance theme was very much like a Southern Baptist church choir, and that's why Big E was like, "It's a new day, yes it is," and this was the gimmick they were supposed to have, and they stuck with it, but eventually, instead of getting mad and saying, you know what, we're gonna quit, we don't like this, they're like, you know what, screw this, we're gonna lean into the power of positivity because we're fucking awesome. So you had Kofi Kingston. Incredibly athletic, not a great promo. So what do you have to compliment him? You've got Xavier Woods, who was very good on the microphone. At the time, was not as accomplished in the ring. You had Big E, who could kind of do both, but he was a big man, so he could do a lot of the power moves. As a tag team, they reinstituted the Freebird rule, which is, yes, there were 3, but for every particular match, only 2 of them would participate. So it would either be Kofi or Xavier, Kofi, Big E, Xavier, or Big E, and the other one would just hang around the outside. They had heel runs, they had face runs. They have the second longest title reign. They beat. It was a big deal when they passed Demolition for the longest tag team title reign. They ended up with 483 days. They are they won the NXT Tag Team Championship once. They won the SmackDown Tag Team Championship 7 times. They won the Raw Championship 4 times. 12 title reigns. They've had a King of the Ring in Xavier Woods. They've had multiple Intercontinental Championships with Kofi and Big E. Big E did win the WWE Championship, and at WrestleMania 35, Kofi Kingston won the WWE Championship. Again, you don't hang around for 10 years with the same 3 people unless you're doing something right. And they took a shit gimmick and made it work and got themselves over.
Beautiful.
And now we go into our top 5.
Okay. I am ready.
Yeah.
Brian, you ready?
Yep.
And here we go. 1, 2, and 3. Okay.
Hope I got this right. Does that count?
Oh, wow.
Okay.
Yeah, the shield counts. That definitely
Good.
counts. Okay. I'll go first. Damage control. The reason why you don't see a lot of the women actions is because they generally don't work. They generally don't have a lot of staying power. This one started off in July 30th, 2022 at SummerSlam with the reappearance of Bayley, who then introduced Dakota Kai and the renamed E.O. Sky, who was known in NXT as E.O. Shirai. Now, they are still going on to the present. Asuka is hospitalized. To wish her the best. So right now they're just a tag team. But for a while, these group of ladies again ran roughshod. They had the WWE Women's Tag Team Champions with Dakota Kai and E.O. They then added in. E.O. won Money in the Bank, cashed in, became the WWE Women's Champion. They then added Kairi Sane. They added Asuka. They were so dominant as a group that they got drafted as a group to Monday Night Raw to booster that women's division over there. It hasn't happened yet, but it eventually will. So, again, multiple titles. You had the Kabuki Warriors, and I just think you get 3 badass Japanese female wrestlers in the ring. Something exciting is going to happen. All right, Mr. Ryan, D-Generation X.
D-Generation X. All right, that was a bit much. No,
It
yeah,
was round
no.
on money, man.
It was literally, they were degeneration. They were degenerates. And they revolutionized a thing. Again, Triple H, Shawn Michaels. It was all the things. because the world was changing. And quite frankly, entertainment was becoming lame and gay. It's kind of weird that entertainment is lame and gay now. But yes, Generation X was that to be something spicy, something to get you behind it, to be a little risque with the ladies. Also, and in today's world, ooh, let's get it ready, sucker. You know what that means. That's all I mean. That's all I need to say. Period.
Okay. All right. I like it. Left Eye Ego. The Shield.
Yeah,
surprised
man.
I'm surprised it's this low. That's kind of low, it seems like.
When people say low, are you saying that it should be like 5, like above
Higher.
5, or it should be higher?
Higher.
I guess I would it's 5
Go
because
on.
I have
I'll go.
reasons. I have reasons for the
Okay.
for the other 4, but for me, it's when you see them formed. Rarely do I see people that when I see them come out of NXT, I'm like, when I see them as together, it's like, oh, all of them are individual stars, even though they're great together. I like the Shield gimmick on there. They're all great on the microphone, fantastic wrestlers. And I guess it's also great the fact that all 3 of them individually became world champion too. But as a group, it's one of the things that you think that you're going to see that one time and that's it. Sometimes people may go back to being a faction and it's stable for a little while, but it's like, well, hey, enjoy this because it's only going to happen this one time because they're going to be so great individually that they won't necessarily need each other, even if they're great as a group, which is even great that they had that callback years later with Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns to Let Me Be Your Shield and the chair that wound up happening. It's great that you can have a callback from when you were a faction, even though you don't necessarily need to go back to it. So for me, for seeing it what it was when it came out, I was like, wow, this is really great. I know it's going to be something special. It just sucks they're going to have to break up for that to happen.
Gotcha. All right. Cool. All right. It's time for our next one.
Oh, that's you, Ryan. Or wait, next one we're writing up. Wow, I'm tripping.
Yes.
Yeah, what are you
I was
talking about, dude?
I'm like, duh, what's he doing? You should be going to the next one, man. I was like, yeah, I was.
All right.
I'm dumb.
This is our top 4 pick.
Yep.
Are we ready?
I'm ready.
And reveal. Okay. Ministry of Darkness, Ryan, please do tell.
Well, the Ministry of Darkness was The Undertaker, Viscera, Gangrel. It was Edge and Christian. It was literally everything. And the best part about it is it actually spawned Stone Cold Steve Austin in the mix of that. Because Stone Cold Steve Austin, for the only time that I understand in his career, he saved Stephanie McMahon from being crucified from The Undertaker, the Brood, literally the Ministry of Darkness, which the Ministry of Darkness spawned the Brood, by the way. Stone Cold Steve Austin saved Stephanie McMahon from being the ultimate sacrifice. And then, of course, a little bit later, we're going to get a little bit of some of that, but that's not here or now. The Ministry of Darkness, led by The Undertaker, was so good. It was so very good. And everybody got crucified. It was very good.
All right. E.G.O. The Hardy Boys and Lita, a.k.a. Team Extreme.
That's the name I'm looking for. Thank you, sir. I'm just like, I know they had a name when the 3 of them together, but yes, I'm not. What? All I'm saying is, I'm saying for
She's
the
the manager,
period,
dude.
She could also wrestle, and she had the moonsault. What?
She was not just a LA.
Yeah, she could actually wrestle. She had the sweet
All right.
moonsault. And again, I'm juxtaposing Lita's involvement against the broad panties match and the pillow Royal Rumbles that we've seen prior. To have someone like, oh, she can actually wrestle. Oh, snap, she's actually got a decent moonsault. It got better over time. And she wound up actually being world champion. And for that to have Matt and Jeff Hardy, who were doing things that I hadn't seen that weren't luchadors at this time, like the Swanton Bomb. I have tried that so many times on my trampoline when me and my brothers were younger, trying to mimic this move because it looked so cool for what it was. I mean, it was edgy, it was extreme. It kind of took in the fact that it's kind of borrowing a little bit from the X Games, which were becoming bigger around that time. It was, seemingly death-defying stunts, which they were all about doing, and it led us to one of the best extreme spots I've ever seen with the TLC, which is Edge spearing Jeff Hardy to hell from the top of a ladder. And so I don't think you get the TLC matches, and I don't think you get them to be sold as well with those spots without the Hardy Boys, aka Team Extreme, with Hardy Boys and Lita.
I'm sorry, I have a question.
Yes.
When did Lita wrestle Edge?
Come on, dude. She didn't have to wrestle.
No,
She was a part of the group.
I got fucking
part of the group.
lambasted last week. When did Lita wrestle Edge?
That one time, man. I'll send you the clip, okay? It was a Swanton Bomb off the top rope. Huh?
No, that doesn't count. It doesn't count. When do we crucify you? That is a stable. She wrestled. She was a part of the group.
That's a faction.
That is a faction. And they wrestled. You did it because one of them was
all right.
was a valet that didn't wrestle.
Hold the fuck on. Then I'm actually fucking protesting this bullshit because, quite frankly, we have not established what a faction is. And
yeah, we did. Yeah, we did.
Oh,
yeah, we did.
Totally did.
So it's two women, two men, and a woman.
No, we said we were okay with that as long as they were wrestling.
Three in-ring talent.
Yeah, three in-ring talent.
She was not a part of in-ring talent.
I said
she was a manager for the majority of the part.
No, she was not.
No, she didn't.
No, she was not. No, she was not.
You fuckers are literally pissing me off because, quite frankly, you're like going, "Oh, The Rock, no, not that." But like Lita, like going all day. We talked about The Rock earlier, dude.
And anyway, my turn. The Judgment Day started in April of 2022. This was supposed to be Edge's spooky supernatural group. They were going to have dark mystical powers, and it started with Edge and Damian Priest. A month later, they added Rhea Ripley. Now, then, unfortunately for Edge, this was not going over. The fans were starting to boo them. They needed a pivot. They brought in Finn Balor and excommunicated Edge. They kept the gothic aesthetic, but implied more street thug intimidation tactics. Since then, they have added Dominic Mysterio, and when they added Dominic with Finn, Damian, Rhea, and Dominic, they were the second faction to have championships across all three brands. Damian Priest and Finn Balor had the unified tag team championships for SmackDown and Raw. Rhea Ripley had the Women's World Championship, and Dominic Mysterio had the NXT North American Championship. Since then, obviously, Damian and Rhea are gone. They have added Carlito, Jade McDonough, and Liv Morgan. They still have Tag Team Championship Gold and Women's World Championship Gold. They have been around, like I said, for 2 years. For the last year and a half, they have been the top story on the #1 flagship show for the company. You don't get to the top story build where you're having 3 to 5 segments per Raw, unless you're a pretty good faction. So the Judgment Day is one of the best actions.
Nice.
All right.
And
You go ahead. I guess it's me and you the rest of the way.
It looks like it, dude. Also, I think StreamYard has been really screwy lately. I have no idea. Like, I'm having trouble actually logging on sometimes. Like, my camera and microphone are out, even though I just turned both of them on. So, hopefully, Ryan can get back on.
Oh, okay.
And got it ready when
Let me
you
know
are, sir.
when you're ready. Okay.
I'm good.
Here we go. And Heart Foundation 97. Okay, very nice. Okay, you got the Heart Foundation as well.
Yes.
Cool.
So I will say, go ahead.
No, go and start.
Say the main thing for me was for the Heart Foundation was the aesthetic that they had. I mean, you had Nation Domination, you had Ministry of Darkness, you had all these other factions going on, but none of them looked like thoroughbreds, like an actual wrestling stable. Like, hey, we pump out wrestling thoroughbreds and we're the Heart Foundation. It sounded more like an actual wrestling school that people come out of than a stable, but it fit the aesthetic, especially with the pick in black was phenomenal. It was fantastic with having Bret Hart in the mic. Big British Bulldog was in there at one point. Owen Hart was fantastic in the ring. I mean, they had so much going for them. It worked really well. They could talk their crap and they could actually back it up in ring. The excellence of execution was what Bret Hart would say, and he lived up to it. And they were going to be thoroughbreds. They were going to say that they were better than you, and then in the ring they would prove how much more technically sound and better than you that they were. So I mean, with how well put together they were, and I'm not sure if it was seemingly overnight that they built the stable this way or not, or just that everyone meshed well. It just looked so perfectly in sync, like they didn't have to rehearse any lines, that they could just go and in a moment's notice turn it from I'm on the mic to in the ring at a moment's notice, and there's no drop off. So for me, like, that's why they're so high on this list.
Gotcha. Okay. Team Extreme. We're almost there, E.G.O. So the Hardy Boys and Lita. My favorite wrestler of all time is Jeff Hardy.
Oh, okay. Wow.
And again, that's from the Attitude Era, folks. Yes.
Wow.
I actually like stuff.
That is surprising.
Attitude Era. I know, right?
Okay.
So the Hardy Boys. So then you've got the Hardy Boys doing this maneuvers that are just beyond human. And then you had this luchador S.A. Rios come in, and he had this girl with the fiery red hair, the big tattoo, who did a better moonsault than he did. And all of a sudden he starts beating the crap out of each other. And I remember saying, because I was watching it on Raw, and I said, and I hope the Hardys, and I'm like, oh, come on, Matt and Jeff. And they did. And then you got Team Extreme. This revolutionized the mixed tag match, where they had feuds with the likes of TNA, Test, Albert, and Chris Stratus. They would have feuds with the Dudleys, and the Dudleys would have Stacy Keibler with them. So there was, or you would have Edge and Christian with Jacqueline. This revolutionized the intergender matchup, and she played a small but a significant part in that. My favorite match of all time, also from the Attitude Era, TLC 2 from WrestleMania 17. Also, this group here, when Lita had won the women's championship multiple times. Hardy Boys were also tag team champions. This faction dripped with gold. It wasn't for very long reigns, but they had gold at multiple times. So again, a lot of fun. Loved this group, and definitely part of at least one of my favorite actions.
Nice.
All right. We have our number 2, I guess.
Yep. It's now. All right, cool. Actually, I'm gonna do this here. Okay. All right, ready when you are.
All righty. And reveal.
Oh,
Ooh,
nice.
EX. All right. Okay. Let me scroll this up here. My friend, you go first.
All right. So, like the way I said that the Heart Foundation was a thoroughbred, DX was a gang. And once you were in, my friend. It and everyone knows that it was the Hart Foundation, Bret Hart saying that Triple H, Shawn Michaels, and the rest of those guys were a bunch of degenerates. Then they come out to call themselves Degeneration X. The thing is that I weirdly thought that I was in Generation X because I'm like, hey, I think I know, and that was the weird thing is that kids that I guess technically millennials wanted to be in Generation X because it was now cool, and people that were in Generation X was like, we've been cool. Now you actually are put on notice, and the whole world can see. I love the antics, and for me being a homeschool kid who is like, hey, we're watching Little House on the Prairie, and then maybe Good Times. Or I know it's a whole thing. And so me and Johnny Douglas have to get together and talk about the homeschool life. But for all those things, you don't really have anything to relate to your friends about at all. But at 8 o'clock when Raw came on, you had something to talk about with your friends, and you could all talk about the antics that these guys got into that you weren't allowed to do. And so, run from trying to do the promo with Road Dogg and Billy Gunn to tell everyone just run around just chopping things, random things saying "suck it," and for all the antics that they had, for all the funny skits that they did, and for the fact that they could all have in-ring wrestling talent, especially with China. You're like, I don't know how it's gonna work, but she could actually go toe to toe with the guys. She was funny when she needed to be, because that big boss man impression was hilarious. With the 9-6, she threw it up, runs in a circle, like I don't know where it is, and it drops behind her. Was hilarious. And I mean, it was led by two guys that are actually best friends, and you can actually see that, they've gone from these guys that were degenerates to people that run the company. And I don't think you would think that in 30 years this would even be possible, that like those guys right there running around and say suck it. Like, yeah, those guys are going to run the company, because for this moment that they caught it, that they were actually in tune with what the fans and the audience wanted, but they actually propelled it and said, hey, this is as a company how we can move forward, not just hold on to the glory for ourselves, but actually push the next guys and actually propel this thing another 30 or 40 years and not be stuck at a certain point. So I think that's the biggest thing for me with this stable, is that it produced two of the guys that run this entire thing. And I have no idea what would happen if Triple H retires and does nothing, or if Shawn Michaels' back is so bad that he's done like some wrestlers that have actually ended their lives for pain that is this intolerable. So to see,
Gotcha.
like I said, that's after watching Iron Claw and seeing what their lives could have been. To seeing this is nothing short of phenomenal. So that's why I've got him at number 2 all time.
All right. My number 2, Sierra, Hotel, India, Echo, Lima, Delta, Shield. When they hit the scene in November of 2012, no one saw them coming at all.
Oh.
You had 3 guys from NXT. And this is, again, why you create a faction, is to lift individuals up to get them to that star place while accentuating their strengths, hiding their weaknesses. Roman Reigns was shit on the mic at that time. So if you want to make him a star, what do? You put him in a group where he doesn't have to talk at all. because you have Dean Ambrose, who was a great talker. You have Seth Rollins, the great in-ring worker, and Roman hits the big fancy big power spots. So it's a perfect blend. Now, a lot of folks don't know this, but from December of 2012 through May of 2013, they never lost.
Wow.
Never lost. A 6-month streak, never losing a match. And as it was said earlier, it produced multiple championships. After they broke up as individuals, they officially broke up in 2014. So factions, with very few exceptions, don't last very long. They are meant to accentuate talent and then send them off into the real world. With Roman Reigns, they should let him cook a little more. I'm just saying, because then we had the big dog. So we are ready for our number one.
Yes. I'm ready when you are, good sir.
Give me 1 second. All right. 1, 2, 3, reveal.
Yeah.
Knew it. Boom. The Bloodline.
Man.
The number one story in the entire company. And it didn't start when Roman Reigns captured the Universal Championship. It started almost a year later.
Yeah.
It started in July of 2021 when the Usos joined Roman, when Jimmy finally joined the fold with Jay and Roman to create this group. And again, since then, the run speaks for itself. Roman, 1,316 days as Universal Champion. The Usos, the Unified Tag Team Champions, for 622 days. The first faction to hold titles across all three brands, because Solo Sikoa, very early on when he debuted, was also in NXT and was the North American champion down there. First faction to hold titles across all three brands. And again, this is still the biggest story that the company is telling, and it's still going on. And it could go on for years, because there's a lot of Samoans and Tongans and whatnot. So, E.G.O, your thoughts on this?
I honestly, I did this list maybe 2 or 3 times, and each time I did, I kind of went from 10 to 1, and I wound up with either DX being 1 or Bloodline being 1, and in the end, I think that the Bloodline is going to be 1, just because it's so simple in the name that it's the Bloodline, and because most of them are related. And you're like, okay, is it a bloodline?
No, not most of them.
Yeah.
They're all related.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
that's what I thought. Most of them, I know all of them related. So the thing that gets me is the fact that like it works on 2 fronts. Because if you're telling me like, hey, what are you talking about? We got champions in NXT, SmackDown, and Raw right now. What do you mean? Like, is a bloodline that way? No. Also, we're all related. Oh, also we're having multiple titles in the same brand that we're on right now. You're like, it's inconceivable to an extent until you see them wrestle. And you're thinking there's a reason that they have this gold and it's on them. And even as I guess to me, I thought they were a heel faction at that point, that year in, once they got Paul Heyman on the mic with them. I don't know if they were a heel faction, but them working as it was right. Okay. Yeah. Go ahead,
just so you know, the Bloodline has always been a heel faction. There was there was a 6-month arc with Sami Zayn in there where they were starting to get over with the fans, and the fans were starting to really cheer them. But then when they betrayed Sami and kicked him out, that was a definitive reminder. This is an evil heel faction.
Okay, and that's okay.
And really what makes this work, it's family drama. I mean, you talk about, some of the best TV shows, Sopranos, Game of Thrones, it's families and the drama within those families.
And that's the thing is that.
So when you have an actual family,
bro,
in the mix here.
And the thing is that for me looking at it, when people would say like, yo, Roman's had that belt for over 3.5 years, like, why does he? And then I was like, oh my God, I see why. And the thing for me is, I don't think if Cody stayed at AEW, I still think Roman Reigns would be champ. I don't see where his reign would actually end. And because the name is so simple, but yet implies generations, you can have the bloodline for at least 2 decades, if not more. It is astounding. I guess to me, the only thing that's technically missing to me, not that they actually need her, but I would just say put Nia Jax in there to complete the whole thing. I don't know if she really needs it or not, but
or Naomi. Or Naomi because
she's married to Jim, right? Jim Uso, right?
Yep.
Yeah, like I'm just like, yo, you should throw one of them in there. Yeah, complete the family. Now it's in-laws. It's even bigger now. So it was undeniable to me for that reason, because this could go on forever as a name, as opposed to the other names, which you might have incarnations, but you're always going to remember the original. This time, someone says a bloodline, you're like, yo, which one are they up to now? So it was undeniable. They got to be number one for me.
Gotcha. Absolutely. All right. So, in a 2-way tie for third place with 15 points, we have the Shield and Team Extreme.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And number 2 with 18 points, D-Generation X.
Makes sense.
And number 1 with 20 points, get those hands up, the Bloodline.
The Bloodline. That was awesome.
So, I guess we'll go between the two of us. So, E.G.O, what do you got coming up?
All right. So, guys, still working on this video is a little more challenging than I thought it was going to be, but I'm still in the editing process. Hopefully, I'll have it finished soon. But Shiro and I will be doing our Ordinary Games this Sunday at 5 p.m. Central. Hear how I had to lead us out of a corn maze in 100-degree weather in Texas for 3 miles. It's beautiful, guys.
That sounds like fun. And are you going to be on Roman's show tomorrow night?
I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm on Roman's show tomorrow. Yeah. And I actually got Shiro to join me. Yeah. We're both on tomorrow night for Roman's stream, talking ghosts, goblins, and all the scary stuff. Guys, if you've never been introduced to my channel, me and Shiro love reviewing horror movies. So the minute Roman said, "Do you want to?" I said, "Stop right there. We're in." Yes. So I'm excited about that tomorrow at 7 p.m. Central. Thank you for reminding me. I'm bad.
That's right. So you can catch me tomorrow, 7 p.m. at 5 p.m. Pacific time with Roman of the Empire, with this guy, his lovely wife, and that cast of crazy people over there. I'll be dropping another video on Friday talking about my thoughts on the upcoming Crown Jewel event. If you check out the links for everyone down below in the description. And thanks for stopping by, folks. If Ryan, if you're back there, do you want to say anything?
Do that.
Okay.
I don't know if he got disconnected, man.
I have no idea. The stream's still going. But anyway, folks, until next time, when we will talk about the top 5 worst women's champions. Top 5 worst women's champions. Until then, folks, toodles if you smell.
If you smell what the law is cooking. The following contest is scheduled for one fall. On the way to the ring, from Miami, Florida, weighing 275 pounds, the People's Champion, The Rock.